Okay na. Now, for the master's program, chapter 3 is about the methodology. For the PhD, that's your chapter 2. Then so on and so forth, no? And then you have the results and discussion part. Of course, we have summary, conclusions, and recommendations, the cited references. So we are using the CSE, the Council for Science Editors, no, as the format. And then, of course, we have the appendices. So for this afternoon, we are focusing our review on how to make chapter 1. Okay, so we have the introduction. Okay, now when you do your, for both the PhDs and the master students, okay, when you do your dissertation and your thesis, okay, so you have your proposal, and then after the proposal, of course, you have the final paper of the manuscript. So when you do your research, okay, it's like telling your story to your readers, okay? And telling your story should be as clear as possible because we don't expect that all readers would be science majors. So even if readers are science majors like us, no, biology, environmental science, physical science, conservation bio, ano pa bang nakalimutan ko? Of course, when we talk of a dissertation or a master's thesis, they are specializations. No? So kahit na lahat tayo ay nasa siyensya, nasa agham, hindi natin alam lahat. No? Kasi kung gagawa kayo ng dissertation nyo o ng thesis nyo, specialization nyo yun, specialty. Okay? So I'm saying that when you do your research, okay, whether it be a dissertation or a master's thesis, you tell your own story. Okay? And your story should be as clear as possible. And of course, diba, your story is a story of your research journey from the very start to the very end. Okay? And of course, no, when you tell your story, diba, you have to have your background. Okay? So sabi natin kanina, there are two very important portions of the introduction. Okay, so one is the background and the other is the statement of the problem. Okay, so what would be expected of your background? No, what would be expected of the first part of your story? Of course, in the background, you try to share the major concepts of your paper. Okay, and the purpose of sharing the background is to ensure that every reader would understand what you want to do. Okay? Like for example, if you're working on diabetes, if you're working on mangroves, if one is working on mangroves, if one is working on fungi, these are already specializations or specialty. Okay? For example, I'm not very familiar with the mangroves. I am not very familiar with diabetes. So my knowledge of diabetes is just a common knowledge. But if you're going to make a thesis out of it, okay, it's very, very specific. Okay, so again, the purpose of your background is for you to convey your story, for you to convey the reasons why you are doing your research. Okay, so halimbawa, no, if you're specializing on diabetes, so you have to explain what diabetes is. Diba? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao na babasa alam yon. Alam lang nila, diabetes yan. Maraming mataas ang sugar. So hanggang ganun lang. No? So you can explain what diabetes is, no? What are the causes of diabetes, okay, what are the management of diabetes, and so on and so forth. So again, the background introduces your topic. Okay? It allows you to make them understand, okay, what your topic is all about. Okay, sabi nga nila, take your readers as not so very knowledgeable about the topic. So you really have to explain what you want to do. Okay? So that's the one part of the background. No? So that's the very start of your story. And of course, when you tell your background, paano ka makapagkwento kung wala kang information? Diba? So it means a part of making the background is having your literature review. And based on my experience, I guess no, for the PhDs and also the master students when you did your undergrad, the introduction part, it's the best, it's the first part of the research, but it's one of the hardest things to do because apparently, no, you would have to have a complete set of literature before you can actually make your introduction, your background. Nabasa mo na dapat lahat. Kasi paano ka magkukwento kung wala kang kukunan na information, kung kulang ang information. Okay? Kaya sabi nila, napakahirap. Totoo naman, no? Like, when I did my dissertation, it took me almost a year to finish the entire proposal. Okay? Because, of course, for the review of related literature alone, no? So, you are really going to utilize a lot of time. Okay? So, again, when you do the background, you focus on the major concepts, no? Allowing your readers to understand, okay, what you want to do. And of course, it tells you the current state of research. Okay? So, babasahin nyo lahat yon, no? Ikukwento nyo lahat yon sa readers nyo. Ito yung tungkol dito, ito na yung mga nagawa na, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the background is very important to set the stage, no, for your readers to understand what you want to do. No, for them to understand what your topic is all about, and the current research, no, that have been current researches, no, that have been done about the particular topic. Okay, so in short, when you tell your background, okay, you have to be guided by these questions. Okay, so the background answers the questions: what is the problem, or what is the research about? Okay, so you have to introduce the problem. So why is it necessary to solve the problem, or why is the problem very, very important? And third, no, what were the findings of previous authors who worked on it? Okay, so of course, no, you can answer these questions when you do an extensive and critical review of available relevant literature. Hindi lahat ng literature ay isasama. Kung ano lang talaga yung kaya nga related literature eh. Okay? So that's for the background, no? The background is very important, no, for you to really clarify things. Okay? So that's one. It seems easy to do, but it's not. Okay? Kaya nga kailangan na bago kayo makapagawa ng background, halos kumpleto na yung literature. Okay? Now, the second important part of the introduction is the statement of the problem. So please don't be confused. In some papers, no, that's why we are correcting it. No? In some papers, the students seem to have a misunderstanding of the statement of the problem. So when they see this research intends to answer the following questions. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, which are actually the objectives. Okay? So it's not yet the statement of the problem, but those are the objectives. Okay? So under the statement of the problem, of course, after reading tons of literature, tons of relevant literature, okay, you would be able to share or to make kwento, diba? The current state of research, ano na yung mga nagawa na. But of course, in doing your literature review, you would also identify aspects in relation to your topic, aspects that have not been done, if there are issues, if there are conflicting ideas or conflicting results, now, if there are gaps, if there are problems. Okay? Kasi mababasa mo lahat yung literature eh. Ito nagawa na, ito hindi pa, hindi sila, mga dalawang authors, hindi magkasundo sa kanilang findings, ito kulang ang trabaho, ito may kulang sa methodology, and so on and so forth. Okay? So that's the importance of literature review. Huh? So again, under the statement of the problem, okay, you have to identify the major problems or the major issues or the lapses or the gaps. Okay, and then it would be easy for you to share to your readers, no? What do you intend to do or your main aim? Parang kung ako, ito mga na-identify kong kulang o mga problems o mga lapses. As a researcher, what do I intend to do now? Anong gusto kong gawin? Ito pala yung mga problema, ito pala yung mga kulang. So ano ngayon ang gusto kong gawin? Okay? That's why, usually, the last sentence of the statement of the problem is usually the main objective or the goal. Okay? So background, major concepts, lapses, problems. Now, because I identify these problems, this is my aim now. Okay? So you can make actually a short paragraph as your statement of the problem. Okay? So I hope you can continue. I hope you can follow. Paki-message nga ako kung maliwanag naman. Pakigamit ang chat kung nakakasunod. Okay. Sige, no? So that's your statement of the problem. Okay? And usually, 'di ba, you have paragraphs. Your last paragraph is your statement of the problem, no? And your statement of the problem is now summarized by your theoretical or your conceptual framework. Okay? So it depends on the school, it depends on the college, no? But in our case, that's our format. Okay, under the introduction, you have your background, and then you have the statement of the problem, which is followed immediately by the theoretical or the conceptual framework. Okay, whatever you discuss in the statement of the problem and in your background, okay, you have to translate those parameters, variables into a conceptual framework. Okay? Sabi nga, di ba, a basic skill of a science person is for him or her to actually understand the framework, okay, or the concept map or the theoretical framework without even reading the text. So see to it that when you do the framework, okay, and if your readers would look at your framework, they would know the parameters, okay, they would know the issues, and they would know how to address these issues and your output. So dapat yun, kita lahat sa inyong theoretical or conceptual framework. Okay? Okay. So let's have the sample background. So maybe you can ready yourself with the sample background that I sent you. I'll open also the file here. Okay. Okay, so for those who have their sample background, meron na kayong hawak? Anyway, andito naman siya sa screen natin. Can you see the screen? The Word file? Please, yes, okay. Okay, so of course, what I am sharing with you, of course, is an offshoot or is an output from my dissertation. Siyempre, sabi ko nga, ang sharing ko ay experiential kung ano yung ginawa ko. Si Ma'am Warlene, no doubt. Ma'am Warlene, baka connection lang kasi others can see the Microsoft Word. Sige. Anyway, Ma'am Warlene, if you can't see the monitor, maybe you can bring out a copy of the sample introduction I gave you. Black screen. Okay, baka mahina po ang inyong connection because others can see the screen naman. Okay. So we proceed, no? So when I did my dissertation, of course, I was able to come up with this background. And as you can see, the background is very extensive. I had a lot of citations. And ito din, you should keep this in mind that in order for your paper, okay, to be accepted during the proposal and also during the final defense, okay, there should be a lot of good citations. Okay, So this tells your advisor and your panel members that you have not plagiarized your work, no? That you have created your background and other parts of the paper because you have references. Okay? So again, strengthen every part of your manuscript needing citation with a lot of good citations. So like I shared last time, we don't encourage use of Wikipedia and other um, network from the internet. So we usually now we encourage the utilization of journals, no, or publications. Ayan, si Ma'am Warlin, I can say it na po. Okay. Again, no, going back. So the title of my dissertation was Determinants of Species Diversity, Abundance and Habitat Associations of the Anuran Fauna from Forest Fragments in Cavite, Luzon Island, Philippines. Okay? So when you say Anurans, they include the frogs and the toads. So anurans are amphibians. So I specialize on frogs and toads. And when I shared to you last time, Dr. Lagat specialized on reptiles. Kaya nga magkabody kami, no? Because they are herps. So anurans, amphibians and reptiles, they are herps. Okay? So I guess I would not need to read all, but you can read it and you try to see that I am already making the kwento. No? So, kasi para namang haba-haba kung babasahin lahat, no? So, under background, I made their kwento about the conditions of herbs in the entire world, etc., etc. What happens to, because it's a fact that among the vertebrates, no, the herbs, no, especially the amphibians, they are the most vulnerable, okay, to threats. They have the highest extinction rate in the entire world. So that's for the first paragraph. For the second paragraph, what happens, no, in Southeast Asia, because Philippines is part of Southeast Asia. Okay, and also you would read here that we actually included forest fragmentation issues. That's why if you go through the introduction, no, you would realize that we have few remaining forest fragments in Cavite. Okay? So basahin nyo na lang siya mamaya. No? I would like you to, third paragraph is about, wait lang. Okay. Okay. The third paragraph is about the Philippines now. Okay, so during that time, no, what happens to the herpetofauna of the Philippines? It says here that the Philippines is regarded as the most important centers, one of the most important centers of endemism because 80% of our herbs are endemic to our country. And amphibians, apart from being excellent indicators of environmental health, they are also highly sensitive indicators of forest fragmentation. Okay, so again, now when you read the entire introduction, you can see my kwento. You can understand my kwento, why I did, no, what I did, no, as my dissertation. Okay, now the more important part of chapter 1 is the statement of the problem. At tingnan natin yung statement of the problem. Okay, so balikan nyo na lang yung background mamaya kung paano ko kinuwento, no? So nakalagay under the statement of the problem. So again, please don't mistake this for the objectives, no? Statement problem number 1. What is the blah? Second, what is blah, blah, blah? Third, what? So those are actually objectives. So again, the statement of the problem focuses on the problems or the gaps or the lapses. Okay? Incongruencies that were identified, no, based from your literature review. Okay? So let's try to see the statement of the problem. So it says here, in the Philippines, okay, studies related to habitat degradation and fragmentation have been concerned with birds. And then I had their citations. Okay, mammals, those who work on mammals, and herbs. Okay, those who worked on herbs. Okay, but no, there have been no biodiversity. So one of the gaps Okay, one of the gaps, there have been no biodiversity studies related to forest fragmentation in the area of Cavite. That's why I decided to do this. Okay? Even in its only protected area, Mount Palay-Palay mataas na Golad protected landscape. Biodiversity studies in this protected area are limited mainly to systematics. Okay? So that's one of the gaps that I discovered when I did the literature review. Okay? Moreover, it says here, determinants of abundance and Anuran habitat associations are poorly documented in the Philippines, especially habitat association, because my study on habitat association was the first study of Anuran habitat associations in the Philippines. So that's one of the novelties of the research. And Dr. Lagat's research is again the first habitat association of reptiles in the Philippines during that time, 2012, 2011. Kaya sabi natin in the discussion last week, especially for the dissertation, especially for the PhD students, for your proposal to be accepted at the level of the at the level of the dissertation, there should be novelty, there should be something new na hindi pa nagagawa ng iba. Okay? So anyway, okay, so quite a majority of the studies on Philippine Anurans have focused mostly on systematics, taxonomy, biogeography, and species diversity, but very few studies cover ecological aspects like population biology, community studies, and conservation. Okay? Now, the absence of such vital information, coupled with alarming rates of deforestation and habitat loss, resulting conservation and management plans are erroneous, if not weak. Okay? So these were the gaps that were identified. Okay? That's why I proposed the research. So it says here, this study proposes, okay, because this was, of course, written last time, no? So this study proposes to establish patterns of diversity and abundance of anurans in selected forest fragments in Cavite and to model the potential impacts of forest fragmentation on the province's anuran fauna using habitat associations and occupancy modeling. Okay? So for master students, don't be overwhelmed kasi sa PhD talaga ay mahaba. Sa inyo naman, you can limit, of course, your study to one main objective or one main goal, as long as it's not really at the level of the undergrad. Okay, so sabi natin, there should be a higher degree of specialization for the master students. Okay, and then I did not include here the conceptual framework because in LaSalle Manila where I studied, wala naman silang framework meron lang silang statement of the problem. But in your case, you are required to have your conceptual framework. Okay, so hopefully, when you do your background, one, again, you should exhaust your literature. So it means you have to be sure of the title or the study that you want to do. Because if you're already, if your title is already good, so you're going to exert effort na, diba? Kung mapapalitan yan, sayang na naman, panibagong effort na naman yan, no? So please don't think that you're only doing this to pass research design or bioresearch or research methods. So what I want you to think is you are being prepared, no? After passing your comprehensive exam, you are now being prepared for you to write your dissertation proposal and your thesis proposal. Kasi sayang Okay, effort din kayo, edi ito na yung itutuloy. Kaya your title is very important, no? So mamaya pag-usapan natin yung title. So again, the more important part of the introduction is a statement of the problem because by reading this part, your readers would understand, these are the reasons why, this particular researcher did the study. So this is the rationale of the study. It tells you also the importance of the study. Okay? So that's for the sample. In terms of format, may note ako dito, Note, in-text citation. Ito yung in-text citation. Okay, the items or the entries and the references, they are the and references. So when the references are found inside the manuscript, they are called in-text citations. So it says here, in-text citation is from earliest to latest. In our case, no, in our format, it's from earliest to latest. In our case kasi, it's it's latest to earliest. So nauna si 2008 hanggang si 2004. Sa atin baliktad, earliest to latest tayo. So sa atin 2004 muna hanggang 2008. Okay? Medyo tinamad na kasi akong baliktarin kasi medyo madami-dami rin siya, no? And try to take note, especially when you do your related literature. Sige, doon na yun. So again, no, I would like to emphasize that you can strengthen again your arguments, your citation, your statements again, no, if you're going to include a lot of legitimate and appropriate citations. Okay? So that would be for the background. Okay? So ngayon, balikan natin yung objectives mamaya. So I'm going to show you again the PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint ulit? Okay, sige. Okay, so we said that after the statement of the problem, no? And the statement of the problem usually has the last sentence, and the last sentence, although in my case, it's not the last, it was second to the last, no? So the last sentence should be your main aim or your goal, okay? And after that, no, it's immediately followed by your conceptual or by your theoretical framework, okay? Si Ma'am Patricia, di pa po. Okay, sige. Wait lang. Okay na po. Okay, sige. Okay, so it says here, a conceptual framework is a system of concepts, assumptions, expectations, beliefs, and theories that supports and informs one's research. In our case, now you have a system of concepts and assumptions and theories. Okay, so when you note a theoretical or a conceptual framework, of course, you see an interplay of variables, which brings us to a very short review of the variables. Lahat ginawa nyo na to noon, no? Walang nakakakilala sa independent at saka dependent variable. Diba? Lahat yan, alam natin yan. So again, when we say independent variable, that's usually the stimulus that affects or that influences. Okay, the dependent variable, that's usually the response or the outcome. And of course, in our case, no, for you as graduate students, you don't only limit your framework to an independent variable and a dependent variable. That's only true for undergrad. Usually sa undergrad nga ngayon ay mas complicated na, no? Usually, we have our intervening variables because again, no, our research is more complicated. Okay? It has a higher level of research compared to the undergrad. Again, because we are focusing on a particular specialization. Okay? So apart from the independent and the dependent variables, you have the extraneous variables, okay, or the intervening variables. So this is a very simple example. Okay, if you remove temperature, soil, and other environmental and adaptive factors, let's try taking note of the dependent, independent variable, and the dependent variable. Okay, so if you're removing soil, temperature, humidity, etc., no? Let's take elevation saka distribution patterns lang. So, kunwari wala pa yung temperature, soil, etc. sa gitna. So, this means that the distribution patterns of animals, no? Like in my case, distribution patterns of amphibians, okay, can be affected by altitude or elevation. Because in the biodiversity, there is a trend, diba? There is a trend of decreasing diversity with elevation. So it means as you go up the mountain, diversity decreases. That's the trend, no, for the vertebrates. So I wanted, no, actually undergrad ko to eh. So master's thesis pala, no? I wanted to know if that's the same for anurads, for amphibians. specifically for Anuras because we don't have salamanders pala in the Philippines. Na? So I wanted to know whether altitude or elevation will also affect the distribution patterns of the Anurans, the frogs, and the toads. Okay? But of course, since I did the master's thesis, I should not limit, I did not limit myself to only the effect of altitude to the distribution patterns, but I factored in different variables. So you have the intervening variables. No? So what if I added air temperature or relative humidity or soil pH or soil type, etc., or humus cover or litter depth? So again, if you're going to combine all of these, what happens now to the distribution patterns? Okay? So this is a sample of a very simple theoretical framework or conceptual framework. So your framework can be as simple as this. Depende sa gagawin nyo Depende kung anong aspects, kung ganong karami. No? Or it could be as complicated as this one. Okay? I guess this is for modules So it has something to do with IT, computer. No? So ganon. So again, please take note of what I said earlier that when you do your framework, okay, at a glance, okay, when your reader assesses your framework, he or she should understand without even reading the text. Okay, so dapat ganun ka-effective ang inyong framework. And you can do that. No? You can ask the help of your other classmates. So after producing your framework, ipasa nyo sa iba. Para tingnan nyo sa kanila. Huwag nyo ibibigay si text. Ngayon, kung naintindihan nila, okay. Kung hindi nila naintindihan, sabihin, ano to? O yun, sabihin, may problema. Okay? So that's one point not to consider in doing your theoretical framework. Okay? Now, of course, we said in a discussion last time that one characteristic of research is the main objective or the goal should be divided into specific objectives. Okay? That's why going back to the statement of the problem. So we said that the last sentence, that's the main aim or that's the goal. Okay? And after that, you have the objectives. So if we're going to go back to the Word file, okay? So I have here the objective or my main goal. Okay? And for me to do this, okay, for me to do this, I formulated the objectives. Okay? Again, it's easier for us, for you, to actually write a paper, to write a publication, to write a research, as long as you know the parts of the research and how to make them. Understand each part and how to make them. Kasi syempre, lahat tayo dumaan ng undergrad. Diba? Teka, sige, chichikahin ko muna kayo. Ihanda nyo ang inyong messenger, ang inyong chat. Lahat tayo dumaan sa undergrad. Of course, now we attended lecture on how to make the thesis, on how to make the proposal. But it was very vague for us during that time. So what we did was we went to the library and we got a sample of a thesis and then we examined how the thesis or how the parts were written. Tapos ginaya natin. Okay? Kayo ba ganun ba? Sige nga, makitingin ako nga ang mga reply nyo. Opo, sabi ni Sir Jed. Opo. Si Sir Jed lang? Yes. Si Sir Michael daw? Opo. O diba? Lahat yan? Opo. Ma'am Army. Lahat yan dinaanan natin. Kaya, ayan, lahat sila. Parang wala nagsabing, no ma'am, alam ko kung paano gumawa. Ayan. Kaya the purpose of this subject is really an exercise, for us to recall, for us to review. Okay? So, dapat hindi ganun ang thinking. So, when you do your research, from the very start to the very end, you should know the parts of your research and how they are done. Kasi pag hindi mo alam kung paano gawin, paano nga ba ginagawa to? Hindi maliwanag ang konsepto. Kaya kailangan maliwanag ito pala ang background, ito pala ang statement of the problem, ito pala ang objectives. Mahirap siyang isulat pag wala pa kayong review of related literature. Pero pag kumpleto na ang gamit nyo, madali na isulat yan. Kasi alam nyo na kung paano isulat. Okay? So again, so what is the difference between a goal or an aim versus objectives? So the main aim or the goal, that's your target that you want to achieve because you have identified these lapses or these problems. Okay? Yun yung target mo, yun yung focus mo na gusto mo sagutin. Okay? But in order for you to do that, diba, you have to have your objectives. So the objectives are the how. Mali ang spelling ko ng framework. Na? The objectives are the hows. No? So what are you going to do in order to achieve your objective? Ito ang gusto ko, ito ang target ko, paano ko gagawin? So yung paano ko gagawin, ito yung mga objectives. Okay? So you try to see, no? So I had 4 objectives. So medyo mahaba-haba talaga yung aking dissertation. So one is to compare, wait, lumaki ulit. Okay, so in order for me to establish patterns of diversity and abundance, so that's number 1. To compare species richness and abundance of anurans among remaining forest fragments in Cavite. Okay? And in order for me to model potential impacts of forest fragmentation, of course, I have to have data about the vegetation and other parameters of the different forest fragments. Parang 6 yata yun o 7. So meron kaming vegetation analysis, etc., etc. No? So the second objective was to describe the habitat characteristics of the forest fragments based on vegetation and environmental variables. Okay? And it says here to correlate, to model potential impacts of fragmentation using habitat associations and occupancy modeling. So for PhDs, a trend now, no, for your dissertation to be accepted at that level is there should be novelty, diba? And the trend now is, no, if you're going to do modeling. Okay? Kasi ano siya sabihin, gumawa ka ng sarili mong model, meron kang bagong i-share sa community, no? Sa scientific community. So number 3, to correlate species diversity and abundance in forest fragments with their respective habitat characteristics using ordination analysis and occupancy modeling. And of course, no, the data that I got, okay, in from numbers 1, 2, and 3, so I use that to model potential impacts of fragmentation on the province's anuran fauna. Okay, so it might seem, looking at the objectives, no, it might seem very easy to do, but it's not, I tell you. Diyos ko po. So sabi ko nga last time, it took us almost 3 years to finish. No, 1 year proposal, 1 year field work, and 1 year writing of the paper. So 3 years in the making ang aming dissertation. No? This is not to discourage you, but what I want to say is, sabi ko nga last time, no, your research can make or break you. Okay? Diyan kayo makikilala. Okay? Kaya kailangan maayos ang trabaho. Hindi magandang pakinggan na. Kaya naman ano lang, basta na lang ginawa ang master's thesis o ang dissertation para na lang makatapos. Pangit pakinggan yun. Masakit sa ego, no? Mas maganda yung, ang ganda ng ano niya. Tapos ang daming publications. Ang daming pwedeng i-share, no? Kaya kailangan talagang pinaghihirapan. Kasi, sabi ko nga, your research, your dissertation, your thesis can make or break you. Okay? Mas maganda na yung can make you than break you. Diba? So, dyan kayo makikilala. And, of course, for all of you naman, no? Sabi ko nga, you would want to pursue a certain specialization para doon kayo makilala. Para hindi naman sayang ang inaaral nyo, no? Ang haba-haba ng pinag-aaralan, tapos parang jack of all trades naman, no? So, yan. Now, going back, okay. So, when you state your objectives, okay, so remember, no? Is it worth doing at the practical and theoretical level? Okay, are your objectives smart? Like we said last time, smart, diba? Okay, are your objectives specific, measurable, attainable? realistic, and time-bound. So again, you have to take note of these characteristics for you to finish on time. Okay? Now, it says here how to state the objective. So number one, objective must be stated in a clear and complete grammatical sentence, and it should be very, very specific. Okay? So in this particular example, it says here, an objective which is too broad or vague, labo, kaya masyadong malawak, di mo maintindihan kung anong gagawin, no? Halimbawa, effects of pharmaceuticals on aquatic fish. It's very broad. What effects? What pharmaceuticals? Ang dami-dami. What aquatic fish? Ang dami-dami rin. No? So this, don't do statements like this. And it's incomplete. Okay? So it's too broad, it's too big, and it's incomplete. Now, how do you state this to become a more specific and a clearer sentence? So you can, this is the example. So do environmentally relevant concentrations of diclofenac, that's your pharmaceutical, okay, in freshwater systems exhibit embryotoxic and stress protein responses. So yun yung effects, okay, to zebrafish or Danurerio embryo. So the objective is very specific and clear compared to the original one. Okay? And take note, when we set objectives, remember, as science people, we don't say that all data should be quantitative, because again, the trend now is a mixed research. You have a mixture of quantitative and qualitative research. Okay? But be sure, no, if you're going to state your objective, how are you going to analyze this? How are you going to get data? And how are you going to analyze the data? So if you already took note of the sample title defense, diba, you had there, I have incorporated there the table with 4 columns. First column, that's the objective. Second column, those are the data to be gathered. Third column, how, what's the methodology. And finally, the last column, the analysis part. So dapat, no, you have to consider especially the data, the how to get the data and the analysis part when you state your objective. Okay? Now, another sample. So sample number 2, what is the effect of family planning program of the government? Again, how do you answer this, diba? Kung ako sasagot niyan, aling family program, anong effect? So again, how do you state this in a more specific way, clearer way? So what is the effect? Again, effect is is very broad pa rin, but it has been trimmed down compared to the original sample. So what is the effect of the family planning program on the knowledge, attitude, and practice of family planning among married couples of reproductive age? Siguro the proponent of the research could have at least specified the effect. So medyo general pa rin si effect. But anyway, compared to the original one, it's more specific now. Okay? Okay. Now, how are objectives stated? So it could either be in declarative form or interrogative form. Pwedeng statement form, pwedeng question form. Okay? So sample 1, to determine if environmentally relevant concentrations of diclofenac in freshwater systems exhibit embryotoxic and stress protein responses to zebrafish embryos. Okay, number 2, to determine the effect of family planning program on the knowledge, attitude, and practice of family planning among married couples of reproductive age. Or they could be stated in an interrogative form. Nawala. Hypothesis na ito. Pag interrogative form, nawala yung isang slide ko. Pa-question lang naman, no? Halimbawa, do environmentally relevant concentrations of diclofenac in freshwater systems exhibit embryotoxic and stress protein responses to zebrafish embryos? Question mark. So, yan. Kanina ay, ito, interrogative form. Ito ang declarative form. Okay? I guess I have erased the other slide. Anyway. Okay, so after your objectives, you have your hypothesis. Okay, And we said last time that a hypothesis or hypotheses are educated guesses. They are temporary working explanations, no, for your objectives. And we said last time that hypothesis should be backed up by assumptions. And good assumptions, no, solid assumptions can be gotten when you do reconnaissance or when you do your initial testing or your initial fieldwork. Okay? So in this case, how do you state the hypothesis? So in the format, no, so in research, hypotheses are stated in a negative manner, kaya meron tayong null hypothesis. That's why in the statistics you have the null hypothesis, HO yun yata, no, and then you have HA, the alternative hypothesis, so that if you're going to reject the null hypothesis, so we accept the alternate or the alternative hypothesis, no. Okay, so example 3. So the main aim of the research was to investigate the histological effects of neem seed kernel extract on the mouse testes. And based from this objective or aim, palta na lang siguro, nalilito yung iba dito eh, no? General objective, so we replace na lang with aim or goal. Okay, and then the researchers identified, sorry ha, may maingay na mga bata. Oh, ha? Sige. Narinig nyo sa kapitbahay. Anyway. So, the proponents, again, were able to state 2 specific objectives. So, declarative one. Now, in stating the hypothesis, null lang. Okay? So, negative lang. So, there is or are no change or changes in the testis histology due to neem seed kernel extract exposure. And second, there is no relationship between neem seed kernel extract and occurrence of abnormal sperm. In our dissertation, in the thesis, we don't state the alternate or the alternative hypothesis, just the null hypothesis. Okay? And we said that the hypotheses are very important, no? Because when you subject your data to statistics, so that's the time, depending on the result of the statistics, so that's the time that you can either accept or reject the hypothesis. That's why we have statements. There is a significant difference, or the difference is not significant, etc., etc. Okay? Now, another part of your chapter 1 is the scope and limitations. Okay? So when you say scope, ito pa, yung iba nalilito rin dito, yung iba halo-halo kung paano gumawa ng scope and limitations, no? So, kaya nga scope, the scope includes the inclusions. Ano yung mga kasama sa research? When you say limitations, meron pa yung delimitations, meron yung limitations. So, how do you differentiate the limitations from limitations? The limitations are the ones that you can control. The limitations are the ones that you can limit, okay? That you have influence over. Na hanggang dito lang, okay? But in our case, we don't use the limitations. We use scope and limitations. So yung limitations, ando na rin yung limitations niya, no? Anyway, under the scope, so again, no? Ito pa, guilty tayo dito. Okay? O, tingnan ko ulit ang reply nyo sa chat. Kinokopya natin ulit yun nun eh. Ang haba-haba. Minsan yung details ng methods nasa scope din. Tama ba yon? O ganun ba yung ginawa nyo? Ako nun, ganun eh. Hindi ko marinig. Nawala ang audio ko. Yung iba, naririnig po ako? Opo. Doc Jen, baka sa ano lang. Sa connection nyo lang. Okay, sige. So, ganun, di ba? So, we are all guilty of that, no? Na, paano ba ginagawa ang scope? Ito yung nakita ko sa library. O, ganito rin ang gagawin ko. So, hindi, no? So, the scope introduces, no? So, one, answer what? Okay? So, the scope introduces or includes what your topic is all about. Anong gagawin mo, no? And then, who or what are your subjects? No, who are your respondents? And if you're using animals, no, How many animals are you using? What would be the ages, no? Male ba yan or female? Kung tao yan, sino? Anong age group? So may mga inclusions na nakalagay. But it's not very, very detailed, no? Where? Okay? Usually, you don't, in the undergrad, no? They are including where they are going to do the research. But in our case, in the graduate studies, we only include the where. Okay, if we need a certain coordination or cooperation with other organizations or with other universities because we would want to use their equipment, or we would want to be advised by some experts in the field, etc., etc. And usually we do that. No, we have an MOU or an MOA with the university or with the organization before you can actually proceed with the work. Okay, like we had one PhD student who did her laboratory in biotech. So bago siya nag-lab doon, meron munang MOA or MOU between LaSalle DASMA and Biotech Thailand. No, meron sa iba sa University of San Agustin sa Iloilo. So may MOA din, no? Merong ibang, I forgot the other schools eh. Meron halimbawa sa Philippine Carabao Center, no? So a portion of the lab was conducted there. So before the conduct of the experiment or the data gathering or the execution of the methods, meron ding MOU or MOA. Okay? So if you're only doing that in the, if you want to say that the lab will be the lab methods will be executed in PCH of De La Salle University, pwedeng hindi na naman yun, no? So again, that would appear in the methods part, but not anymore in the scope part. Okay? Duration din ganoon. So usually sa undergrad nilalagay. Sa inyo naman parang hindi naman na masyado, unless time is very important. Unless you're going to compare the rainy season from the dry season. Yun ang kasama. Pero halimbawa, if you're stating there, field work will be done for 5 months, hindi na yun, no? Again, details would come in your methodology part. Okay? Now, for the limitations, so these are the aspects that cannot be done. Okay? And of course, another limitation is the ethical consideration. That's why in the methods part, no, when you have certain ethical considerations, it should be very detailed in your methodology. Okay? So the limitations are those aspects or portions of the research that you're not going to do. Okay? That's not included in your research. Okay? And you have to be very clear of your limitations because it's your safeguard. Security nyo yan eh. No? So you're going to list there your limitations, and of course, your limitations will be read and will be scrutinized by your panel members together with the advisor. And once they approve of your proposal, okay, you are set with your limitations. Ang lab mo hanggang dito lang. Ang respondents mo ganito lang karami. Okay? Now, what happens during your final presentation? What happens if some of the members of the panel would question you, kulang ang data mo, hindi mo ginawa ito, dapat may comparison ng wet and dry and so on and so forth. You can go back to your limitations and you can tell them, I think I cannot do that because the limitations were explicitly explained during the proposal defense and you have approved them. So, diba? So, hindi na ngayon sila hihingi ng kung ano-anong data, kung ano-anong procedure. Kasi nilimit nyo na yung study nyo eh. What you can say is maybe if data on this particular aspect or on this particular lab is really needed, so I'll just incorporate them in the recommendations part. So that's the power of the limitations part. So you have to be very clear, very specific of your limitations. Okay, maliwanag po yun before we continue. Opo, okay. Sige. Okay, so sample lang, no? undergrad ito eh. Para lang. So the title was Effects of Citrus Microcarpa or Calamansi Ethanolic Fruit Extracts on the Alloxan-Induced Diabetic Musculus or albino mice. Okay? So what were the scope? So they studied the potential of citrus microcarpa peel extract to lower the blood glucose level. Yun ang sinabi nila. Huh? They wanted to determine if citrus microcarpa, ano sila, conflicting. Yung isa dito ay fruit, yung isa ay peel. Dapat ay peel ito. Yan. Huh? And then, who, in their case, now they used animals. So they used 24 male albino mice, 8 to 10 weeks, so they're very specific. Okay. And again, undergrads, so they stated that they did the research at the ERMAC and the duration of the experiment was 6 weeks. But again, in your case, if the time or the duration would not affect your response or your data or your results, you may not include that. Okay. And again, for the where part or the location part, if you have certain agreements, MOA, MOU, etc., with certain agencies or governments or universities, so that's the time that you're going to include that. Okay. And their limitation was they did not do phytochem analysis. So they wanted only to know whether the extract would have a potential hypoglycemic potential, but they, in explaining their results, they only relied on literature, on the results of other research, but they did not do phytochemical analysis. So which among the components of the extract, diba? Because when one does the phytochem analysis, so one identifies the active extract that would lower the blood glucose level. So in that case, they did not do that. Okay? Doc, hindi ko makita yung slide. Nawawala po ata yung pang-share ng screen. Yung iba, kita po yung slide? Kita po. O, Ma'am Army, baka ano lang. Sa connection lang po. Okay. Anyway, our meeting, no? This is recorded. So I'll send you the link of the recording, and then, or I'll embed this to your school book para makita nyo. Okay? Kita naman siya. So in the recording, you're actually going to see the slide naman. Okay, so moving forward. Okay, now, for the definition of terms, for the master's program, you are to have your definition of terms. For the PhD, I think that, but if your panel members would require you a glossary, so that's the time that you're going to incorporate. But for the master's program, for the master's students, you have to have your definition of terms. Ito pa, isang guilty tayo dito. O, paano mag-define ng term? Sige nga. Sa chat. For sure, walang sasagot. Are we getting the definitions from the book or from the, ayan, si Sir Jed, dictionary daw? Yung iba, how do you define terms? Si Sir Richard, no. Oh, ito, yung ano din tayo, di ba? Undergrad, naku, kopya-kopya lang din. Okay. Dictionary derived and how you use it in the study. We can use operational. Based po kung anong ginamit nyo sa study. That's correct. Okay. So take note, when you define your terms, it should be operational. It should not be dictionary-based or book-based or reference-based. No? When you say operational, you're going to define your term, okay, based on how you used, okay, or based on how you will use. Kasi proposal no? Based on how you will use this in your study. Okay? Dapat maliwanag yon ha? Hindi dahil galing sa dictionary. Okay? Katulad nito, no? So again, effect of citrus microcarpa. Okay? We have the word treatments. Yes, ma'am. Ayan, no? We have the word treatments. So when you look up the meaning of treatment in the dictionary, it gives the generic definition. Diba? But when you do your research, no, and if you're, halimbawa, if I were the reader of the thesis, no, if I see the word treatment, all the time I would see treatment or concentration. Okay, I would go back to the definition of terms part and try to see, no, the author's definition of treatment. Pag nabasa ko na yan, ito ang gusto niyang sabihin ng treatment. So I will bear that in mind. So every time I see the word treatment, this is the meaning of treatment based on how the proponents define treatment. So ganun po ang nagde-define ng term. Okay? Kung generic term niya, huwag nyo nang ilagay dyan. Halimbawa, diabetes. Huwag mo na ilagay dyan kasi generic ang definition ng diabetes. Diba? Halimbawa, type 1, type 2. Hindi naman nababago ang definition ng type 1 na type 2. Hindi mo naman binabago yun. So, huwag mo na siya ilalagay dyan sa definition of terms. Okay? Yan. So, halimbawa, based from the study of yung effects of citrus microcarpa, so they define treatments. And they define treatments as different concentrations prepared from citrus microcarpa ethanolic peel extract administered to albino mice. Okay? So that's their definition of treatment. So if you're going to read the paper, their paper, so every time you're going to come across treatment, yun yung definition na ng treatment. Okay? Another, diabetic. No? So they said, depending kasi, no, the value, the blood glucose level for an individual, an organism to be diabetic, there should be a certain value, diba, for the blood glucose level. So they define diabetic as, they use albino mice. The condition in which the mice will have blood glucose concentration of equal to more than 100 milligram per dl. Okay? Pag below that, that could be borderline or non-diabetic. So that's how you use your definition of terms. Okay? So kung wala naman kayong dinidefine na term, edi huwag nyo nang lagyan ng definition of terms. Pero I doubt it kasi research naman yan. Okay? Maliwanag po ang definition of terms? Sige po, patingin po ang response. Opo, okay. O, Sir Jed ha? Sir Jed ha? Hindi dictionary-based yon. Okay, sige. So it means you have to choose your terms. No? Just like when you do your abstract, you have to choose the keyword. So you have to also choose your terms. Okay? Okay. Now, so the last part of the chapter is the significance of your study. Okay? So unlike in the undergrad, you don't enumerate certain people or certain agencies, and then opposite the names of the people and the agencies, no, how are they going to benefit? So you just make a paragraph, and be sure that this paragraph, okay, would really make your readers now realize the importance of your research. Okay, like when I did the significance of my research, I placed there that my research is the first Habitat Association studies of anurans in the Philippines. So that's one, because it highlights novelty. Okay? So ano ang importansya ng research nyo, ng proposal nyo? Ano ang importansya ng magiging major findings nyo? Okay? So yun ang dapat nakalagay sa significance of the study. Okay? So, halimbawa, no? So what benefit could be gotten if your study is all systematic? So what would be the benefit of the major findings of your research? So maybe it could add or contribute additional information to the Philippine systematics on anurans. No? Also possible implications of the results, maybe in terms of, because I was able to determine the habitat association and the potential impacts of the fragmentation on the anurans. So I was able to show that in the study. So the study is very significant. Novelty, no? Kasi may mga modeling. So first, habitat association and contribution to the field. In my case, of course, it's on systematic. So the last one is not applicable for my research. But these are some reminders, or these are some clues on how you can you can show that your research is really very significant. No? So again, the significance of the study should be constructed very well. Okay? Okay. So that would be for the introduction part.